So here's another question.
Okay.
I watch these videos of people twirling pizzas.
Yeah, man. No, I'm telling you.
But the question is that a special kind of dough to withstand the tearing and the poking and all of that?
Okay. So, yeah, that's a great question. You know, in a pizzeria, when you see someone tossing a pizza and throwing it up in the air and stretching it, they're taking that dough and they're cooking a pizza on it. You know, it's a way to stretch it. Now, in the competition, like at Pizza Expo, they have a special kind of dough that they use so it doesn't tear. And it's, you know, it's not made to be eaten at all. It has a lot of salt, and it's a totally different kind of dough. So those guys that are in competition, like Tony Gimignani, you know, 9-time world champion twirler, pizza acrobat, they're using a certain kind of special dough. So yeah, does that make sense?
It does, because, you know, to your point, somebody in the pizzeria is tossing it up and then he's making a pie on it. But that pizza doesn't go up and down and around the block and down his shoulder and all that other stuff.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And so I was just baffled at how it could retain its shape and not fold, and when you're catching it like this, not go through your hand.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I have I've tried so many times. I can toss it a little bit, but no, invariably I make a mistake with my pizza. So I'm not a huge tosser, although I have tossed a little bit. But those guys in competition, it's a different kind of dough, a lot more heartier. And yeah, they were able to, you know, do it around the back, on their head, across the shoulders, you know. Yeah. So.
When I first started making pizza, I would just kind of toss for the wow effect of the people watching.
Yeah.
Until I quickly realized all that did was piss my wife off and throw flour all over the floor.
Yeah.
So I quit doing that.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine, John F., who said, you know, who contends he put a skylight in his kitchen so he could get a higher toss. I don't know if that's true. But hey, enough about me, Bernie. I want to know about you. You have an incredible mission that I love, which is going to different states to make pizza. You said you're clicking off states left and right. What's the story there? What's the story with that mission?
The story is I'm going to retire for the second time in roughly about 2 years.
Yep.
And then the question is, well, what are you going to do in retirement? I said, well, I've got two passions: making pizza and helping people get out of debt. And so my plan is, I've got friends from high school and college and neighbors and people that have moved away over time that I still stay in touch with.
Yep.
And so I'm going to take all my pizza hardware, throw it in the car, and my wife and I, we're just going to drive around America.
Oh, that's great.
Go up. I'm going to make pizza in their kitchen. And I can't just make 2 or 3. I need to make a minimum 6 at a time.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm dragging the KitchenAid mixer with me.
Wow. Okay.
With the two 5-quart bowls and the dough hook, because I don't need anything.
Yep. Oh, that's great, man. So you've already done a bunch of states. Where have you gone so far?
Well, I've lived in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Georgia. So those were givens. I've made pizza in Texas, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, North Carolina, and Kansas.
All right, man. Okay, great. You still have a lot of room to expand there, which is fantastic. I wish you a lot of luck on your mission.
You know, and what I'm interested in learning, Albert, is, since everybody claims that the water is a big component, especially the New York City and the Connecticut water.
Yeah. Wow, what a great, that is a great question. That's a whole nother series of videos talking about that. You know,
what I've noticed here in Georgia is we got a lot of humidity, and in the southern Louisiana area, it's worse. And so the humidity in the air affects the amount of water that goes in the dough.
Sure, absolutely. And I think depending on the area of the country you live in, it's going to determine the kind of dough you make or how much you're going to add to it, or, you know, a little bit of flour, a little bit more water. But back to the water question, kind of interesting. There was a movie that came out called Pizza: A Love Story. I don't know if you've seen it. No. It's a great flick. And it's basically about New Haven pizza. And New Haven pizza is very, very wide, but they concentrate on 3 pizzerias: Pepe's, Sally's, and Modern. And they try to deconstruct the water issue. They talk about it. And so I have heard that a lot. And I'm going to say this, one of the coolest story. I got a quick story for you. My friend Gail, longtime friend, longtime pizza therapy fan and member. She was in a contest, and it was hosted by Guy Fieri. It was a bunch of years ago in New York City, but she lives in Tennessee, but she grew up in Connecticut, and was very good friends with the Consiglio family, who owned Sally's, and in particular Flo, the matriarch. And so in the midst of her filming, she drives from New York City to New Haven. It's about 2.5 hours, goes up to Sally's, sees Flo, and says, "Flo, I'm in a pizza competition. I want to get some of the water from Sally's to make my pizza." And she took a jug, got the water, drove back to New York, and she won the contest. She won $20,000.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. She won with a pizza. And she, you know, her contention, obviously, a lot of people would say, it's the water. It's the water. I don't know. My friend John Arena from Metro Pizza in Las Vegas says, water is water. You know, I don't know. And I do know that the water from New York City comes from upstate. And it's supposed to be very, very pure and lots of minerals and all kinds of stuff. So that's debatable. I don't know. I mean, Gail will say, yeah, man, that's how I won $20,000 with New Haven water, you know? So maybe it is the water. And, you know, it's kind of funny. When she goes back to visit Connecticut from Tennessee, she'll take back a bunch of gallons so she can make pizza in Tennessee. So I don't know. There you go. There you go. I mean, that's a great question.
You know, you mentioned Pepe's and Sally's. That's on my bucket list. I haven't been.
Yep.
But the plan is to go to one and order a small pizza, and then go to the other and order a small pizza.
Yeah.
Just like I ordered cheesesteaks across the street from each other in Philadelphia a couple of years ago.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, that's great. You know, New Haven has lots, and which I didn't realize, has lots and lots of great pizza. I mean, those 3, Pepe's, Sally's, Modern, they're kind of the trinity, holy trinity of pizza. But there are a bunch of other pizzerias right around there. Zupardi's comes to mind, and Abate. There are a bunch of great pizzerias. And so, yeah, I think I wish you the best on your quest. I'd love to hear what you think. You know, Pepe's, if you go to Pepe's, my favorite pizza there is the clam. And to me, there's no pizza on earth quite like it. It's a very minimalist pizza, no sauce, no mozzarella, clams. And I think I use a pecorino kind of cheese or Italian cheese on it, Parmesan, pecorino mix. It's just fantastic. Mm-hmm. Sally's had been in the family for many, many years. It just recently was sold. So
really?
I don't know if the pizza is going to be the same quality. I assume it is, you know, right up there. Modern is another place you should check out. And also Zupardi's. There is so much you could spend, you know, weeks, months in New Haven, just going to different pizza places.
Well, I'm glad you told me that, because I'll have to go by myself, because my wife's going to give up after pizza places.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. When I take trips with my family, my wife and daughter, they say, that's it. No more than 3 pizzerias this trip. No, we're done. So yeah, I have to go solo. I'll give you a resource, which is on Facebook for New Haven pizza. They're called the Pizza Gavones. And there's 3 guys I interviewed. They're wonderful guys, and they celebrate New Haven pizza. So check them out. They got a lot of following. They got a bunch of videos. They do video reviews, which are very different. They're a great bunch of guys. and they're really carrying on the tradition. Nobody's doing what they do. And I was shocked. I thought I knew a little bit about New Haven pizza. Boy, talking with these guys, I don't know anything. I'm in preschool compared to them. And next time I head up to the East Coast, I got a bunch of new pizzerias I'm going to try out, which I can't wait, really.
You know, so. I like your postulate that all mistakes are inevitable.
Yeah, hold up my book there, Bernie. Come on. Give me a little props.
Where did it go? It's under.
Oh, you lost it. There it is. Go. Okay, that's right.
All mistakes are inevitable, and I can't agree more. I've been making pizza for 32 years, and just when you think it's going to come out perfect, something happens.
That's right. No, that's right. That's right. I remember talking to Chris Bianco, who owns Pizzeria Bianco in Phoenix, and he says something. He says, if you disrespect pizza, it's going to kick your ass. And he also, and when I talked to him, he said, you know, my pizza isn't the same every time I make it. I'm not hitting a home run. You know, I mean, it's pretty consistent. Don't get me wrong. His pizza is the best on the planet. But even he says, you know, it's something you're striving for. You're trying to get to that point. And he also says, you know, pizza is something you can never master. And it's funny. You know, water, salt, flour, yeast, that's it. And you know, for 30 years of experience, I've been making pizza about that same amount of time. Holy God, no. I mean, you know that you're making dough. You know your pizza's going to be pretty good. But some days you do hit a home run. Well, I don't know why. Some days your pizza's just out of the ballpark. Other days, even people would like your pizza, but you're going, no, it's not quite up to what I thought it was going to be. Do you find that true?
Yeah, you know, there's just so many different factors that could go wrong. I personally will make a pizza and then I'll slide a screen underneath it.
Oh,
and then I'll put that in the oven on the stone.
Yep.
And then halfway through the bake, I'll lift the pizza up off the stone with the peel, and then with a pair of tongs, I'll pull the screen out.
Yep.
So I've got dough on stone.
Yep.
Well, if there's some moisture on the dough, somewhere on the bottom or somewhere on the edge, and that dough decides to stick to the screen.
There you go. You're sunk.
Yeah.
So, you know, what I do, and I know any better than anyone else, I put my pizza on a peel and put it right on the steel, you know, and I take it in and off out of that way. But I know a lot of people that use screens. A lot of professional pizza people use screens, and they work well. I mean, the proof is in the pizza, I think. You know, right? I mean, you know, when you made pizza, how many times you have people send back your pizza to the kitchen and say, I'm not going to eat that? It never happened, right, Bernie? Come on.
Yeah.
Even on your worst pizza day.
You mentioned in your book, Albert, that, you know, you make one mistake, you're never going to forget it again.
Yeah.
And so when I tried making a pizza right on my wooden peel, and I put a lot of cornmeal down, you know, that dry lubricant, and I went down there and I did the jerk motion.
Yep.
The toppings flew off the top.
Oh yeah, no, I'm telling you.
The back of the oven. Half the pizza's hanging off.
Yeah, I've been there.
Coming out of the oven.
Yep. No, that's true. You could use flour on your, and you know, mixed with cornmeal or I'm bringing it. I'm having a hard time. There's a kind of Italian flour that you can use to lubricate the
semolina.
Pizza. Yes. Hello, Albert. Yes, semolina. Thank you. Yeah, which I think is a little better than cornmeal. I've started using semolina a lot more. But you know what I found to test your pizza before you give it that big shake, give it a couple of mini shakes over the counter to see that it's loosened up.
You taught me something.
Yeah, there you go. So that's going to help you. You know, okay, got a mini shakes. It's not going to stick. The other thing that I have found, a little trick, is to, if it does stick, run a string or dental floss under the pie, and that will loosen it up. A couple little things that I've, to kind of save myself from disasters. So anyway, the other thing I want to talk about is you mentioned how this whole conversation started, which you asked me about less is more. How much is too much?
Yes.
Well, let me put it to you. What do you think? What do you think is too much?
I invite friends to put the topping on the pizza when I have company over.
Yep.
There's two things that you can screw up making a pizza. One is rolling the dough too thin.
Yep.
Because I use a screen. And the other is actually managing the bake.
Yes.
So anything between the dough and the bake, I'll let other people do because you can fix that.
Yep.
And so when I invite somebody else to put toppings on, it's like a kid in the candy store cramming all that penny candy in a small bag.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. So having taught a bunch of pizza classes and a lot of, as a special ed teacher, I would do this a lot with kids and regular ed kids. We'd pair them together. And that was one of the big first rules that I learned after the first or second time I did a pizza class. I control the amount of toppings, and you got to control it. You got to say, don't put a lot on. I know they want to put the whole kitchen sink on. No, it's not going to work. The pizza's just not going to cook. So I keep that mantra going. Less is more. You don't need, no matter what you think you're going to need on a pizza, you need to just put less than you're thinking that you need. And I have a friend of mine, Mark Bello, who has a pizza school in New York City. And that was one of the things that he said, which I thought was so telling. He subscribes to the less is more theory. And he said, if you're going to put something on a pizza, put less than what you think you need. And it's true. I mean, I found that out myself. You don't need an awful lot. You want the dough to shine through. I mean, it's a marriage of the toppings and the dough and the crust, but you want the crust to kind of shine through a little bit, I think.
To that point, I've seen people put so many pepperonis on a single topping pepperoni pizza that you wind up with that oil slick.
Yeah, that's true.
And then out come the paper towels and they're blotting it up.
Yeah, there you go. That's true. So, could you tell me that story of growing up, your pizza tale? Again, let me get that. Let's get that down here, pal. Okay. So, growing up an Italian Catholic in Bayside, New York, my mother would give me $2 to go to Bell Boulevard in Bayside to get my hair cut. Yep. The haircut was $1.75. And my mother instructed me to give the barber a quarter tip. Yep. Well, down the block, right on the corner, was a place called Rex's Pizzeria. Now, this is in the mid-'60s. And they had a window that was right on the corner. So you can actually buy right out of the window. And in the summertime, they sold Italian ice. Yep. So for a quarter at Rex's, you can get a slice of pizza, a slice of cheese, and for 10 cents, you could get a fountain drink. Wow. So I would find a dime and put it in my pocket and head on off to Bell Boulevard with $2 to get my hair cut. And I'd pay the guy the $2. He'd hand me the quarter, and I would, like you said, Albert, I would stiff the barber, and I'd keep the quarter and head on down the block to Rex's. That is great. I'd spend the tip money to get a slice, and I'd pull out the dime to get a fountain drink. Yep, that's great. There you go, buddy. No, that's great. Have you told your mother about that? Does she know? Oh yeah, I've told her that story now. And 50 years ago plus, when a slice was a quarter, fast forward to today, I don't know what it is, $4, $5. Yeah, exactly. No, right. That's right. No. Oh, that's a great pizza memory. That's great. So I'm going to check this out, and there's some highlights. I'm going to make a video out of this, if you don't mind, and I'll post it. Is that okay? Yeah, great. That's great. Great. That'd be great. Let me see if I've got one other question for you. Sure. Okay, so
When it comes to proofing the dough, I make a batch of dough, and depending upon the weather, I'll put 2 5-quart mixing bowls of dough, which is about 6 to 7 cups of flour per bowl.
Yep.
In my car. And
Okay.
I'll let the heat of the car let the dough proof.
Right.
Okay. But if it's raining outside, but it's still summertime, I'll put it up in the attic.
Wow. Okay.
It's still hot up there.
Yep.
But
okay, that's great.
How long is the shelf life of a cold proof, a refrigerated proof dough?
That's
when
a great
throw
question.
It away?
Yeah, no. My buddy Jonathan Goldsmith says you never throw it away. But I think I've gone 4 to 5 days easily in the fridge. You can go even 6 days and made very decent pizza. And beyond that, Jonathan says, well, just turn it into bread, which I think is great too. So I'd say 4 to 5 days without any problem whatsoever, Okay. And what I've noticed, Bernie, with that cold ferment is that it makes the pizza taste better. There's the complex carbohydrates. There's a chemical reaction within the dough itself. It breaks down the flour into simple sugars with the action of the yeast. I think, I'm not a scientist. I know what I like, and that's what I do. So easily, 4 or 5 days without any problem, really. Okay. Really. So, and I think, wow, your attic and car method, man, that could be, you'll have to do a test on that. I have never done that. I will say that, but you know what I say about pizza, whatever works is the right thing to do. So if you think putting it in your car, in your attic, in your basement works for you, go right ahead. There's no right or wrong way. I think, anyway, that's my attitude.
Do you have an infrared thermometer, the little gun that shoots the beam?
do. Yes, I do. Absolutely. Best investment I ever made, really.
It is.
I use it all the time. I was kind of surprised that when I started using it, it's invaluable. It tells you how hot the deck of the oven is, or your pizza stone, or your steel, and that's really important. I think.
It is, because if you're doing, I usually do 10 to 12 pizzas at a time. And you don't realize how the stone will cool in between pies if you don't give it 5 to 8 minutes.
Exactly. No, that is really true.
People stone will suck down to 480.
Yep.
And then if you throw another one on top, it'll get down to like 440, and then all of a sudden things are taken slower. Yeah. Yeah,
no, that's true, Bernie. That is very, very true. I think even people that I know that commercially own wood-fired ovens find that out too. When they're throwing in a lot of pies, the temperature tends to decrease quite a bit. And you see it at home when you're cooking a lot of pizza. Your stone or your steel will lose a lot of heat. And you got to give it a little bit more time to kind of heat back up. It's surprising. You wouldn't think so, because it cooks so quickly, and you're thinking, oh man, it's going to be. No, it's not. It really has decreased the temperature quite a bit. It sucks that that cooking time. The cooking time is way increased when you're doing a lot of pies.
Do you notice that, Albert, when you're cooking on a steel, the steel gets cooler too?
I haven't. I'm not doing 10 or 12 pizzas, but yeah, I can't say I have noticed that, but I'm sure it would. If I had a commercial oven and I was banging it out, I'm sure I would. Although maybe not. The steel retains the heat a lot better than a stone does. A lot better. And so, what I have found in my experience, it takes a little bit more time to get the steel up to temperature. And once it does, it stays there for a long time. So,
yeah, I'm excited. My wife's going to be excited. She'll have something she can buy me for Christmas.
Oh, there you go. Well, thank you so much, Bernie. I appreciate you taking time to talk to me. I love your pizza story.
Hey, I appreciate your time because I'm out of questions.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
I appreciate your book, and I appreciate the short bio of yourself at the beginning, and all of those recipes. I'm definitely going to start trying some things.
Yeah. Oh, hey, thank you so much. I'm really appreciative that you like the book. It's not for the advanced pizza guy, and I've gotten a lot of questions about that. No, if you know pizza, you're a professional pizza. It's not, but you may get a trick or two out of it too. So that makes it kind of cool.
What I've noticed about a lot of people that see me make pizza, and you probably experienced this too, they see you make and they go, oh, well, heck, I can do that too.
Yes.
So they go get a recipe book, they go get a stone, they get a peel, they do it 2 or 3 times, and that's it.
That's right. No, very well stated. No, that's true. And it goes back to what we were talking about. It's very simple: flour, water, salt, and yeast. But to master it or to get really good at it, you got to do it a lot. And it's a lot harder than it looks. But everybody can make pizza if you keep trying. If those people had, continued beyond 3 times, maybe 5 or 8 or 10 times, they'd find, oh man, my pizza's pretty good.
Yeah, super. Hey, Albert, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bernie. I appreciate your support, and I wish you all the best. I want to check back with you on your, buddy. Oh, man. Oh, thanks.
There you go. Yeah, hey, you've got one just like this.
I really appreciate it, Bernie. I can't wait to hear about your pizza quest, which should be fantastic. All the best to you, my friend. Let's stay in touch. I want to hear more states. when you hit
Hey, if I get to the Big Island, I'll let you know.
Okay. Take care.
All right.
We'll catch you later. Bye-bye. Aloha.